State, call our next witness.
State calls Diamond Greer. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Very good, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your full name for the record.
Tammy Green,
What city do you live?
Jacksonville.
And ma'am, do you know a person by the name of Rashad Murphy?
Yes,
How do you know Rashad Murphy?
my brother.
Do you also know a person by the name of Davian Murphy?
Yes,
Are you also related to Davian Murphy?
yes,
And this morning, you're here under a subpoena, is that correct?
yes,
So you are compelled to be here?
yes.
You don't want to be here, is that correct, ma'am?
Not really.
And do you recognize and do you see Davian Murphy in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and describe what he's wearing?
He has on a black suit and white and black shirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect she's identified Davian Murphy.
The record shall so reflect.
And ma'am, you have testified that he's your cousin, is that correct?
Yes,
How long have you known him?
all my life.
And going back to July 26th of 2024, did two detectives from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office come and meet with you?
Yes,
And did they have a photograph from a still photo from a Ring video camera that they wanted you to look at to see if you could identify that person?
yes,
And prior to showing you this particular photo, what did they tell you it had to do with regards to an investigation?
they told me he had vandalized or damaged an Airbnb, and they were asking me if I had seen him.
And so during that conversation, they never mentioned to you that this actually was a homicide investigation, is that correct?
No, not at all.
And were you willing to look at that photograph under those circumstances based on how Jacksonville Sheriff's Office relayed to you the investigation?
Yes,
I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit 38C. Ma'am, do you recognize this still photograph?
yes,
And is this the still photograph that those detectives from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office showed you?
yes,
And were you able to identify the person in this still photograph from the Ring video?
yes.
And who is that, ma'am?
Davian.
Your Honor, at this time, we pass the witness.
Okay, any questions, Mr. Gonzalez?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise?
No questions.
Mr. Petratus? Okay, may this witness be excused?
She may, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am, you're free to go.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, State, who's your next witness?
The state calls Alicia Kaufman. Yes, we're good now. Do you
solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
May proceed.
Please state your full name for the record.
Alicia Kaufman, Kaufman.
How are you employed?
I'm a crime scene investigator with the City of Tampa Police Department.
How long have you been a crime scene investigator?
16-ish years.
Back on June 25th of 2024, did you respond to the Tampa Police impound lot to assist with processing a vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that pursuant to a search warrant that was obtained by law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you assisting two homicide crime scene detectives?
Yes, I was.
Who was that?
It was going to be Detective Kirkpatrick and I believe Detective Albertson.
And the vehicle that you were processing, was that a black Dodge Charger?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your role in processing the black Dodge Charger?
My role was to document the Charger as is. It was already gone through prior to my arrival, and what I was there to do was just to collect any bullet fragments or casings, anything like that that we could find and collect from the vehicle.
And when you said it was already gone through, had there been other crime scene investigators that were already there that had previously documented and collected evidence from the exterior of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
And so did that vehicle already have markers from crime scene on it when you arrived?
Yes, it's a little yellow sticker.
And it had been removed from the original crime scene, is that correct?
Yes, the only location I went was our impound lot on Lois.
And there is, again, another crime scene investigator that would have documented and photographed that vehicle on scene on McKinley Drive at the Home to Suites, is that correct?
To my knowledge, yes, ma'am.
And you were not asked to swab for DNA. Was it your understanding that that had already been done as well?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, we introduce into evidence states 68A through double M.
Any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Mr. Sonardi?
No objection.
Mr. Wise? Mr. Petridis? Admitted.
Ms. Kaufman, what is 68A?
That's just going to be our information sheet. You'll see my name, the date in the top left corner, the type of case that it was, the original location that I got was off of McKinley, and that it was at the impound lot, and the report number.
Do you take a lot of photographs as a crime scene investigator?
Yes, ma'am. It's part of my daily duties.
And is this to help you ensure that you are documenting and can account for which photos, which case it goes to?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us what you are documenting in 68B.
That's going to be the exterior of the Charger.
And is that how it looked when you arrived?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did not put all of these yellow stickers there that indicated damage, is that correct?
That's correct.
What specifically were you tasked with documenting and collecting?
Specifically, I was to go through and see if I could follow any of those tracks or marks to see if we could find any bullets or fragments that were inside the vehicle, whether it was in the vehicle frame or if it was inside the vehicle, such as in a seat.
So you're looking for actual projectiles, is that correct?
That's correct.
And was there any projectiles that were still intact that you located during your processing of the vehicle?
There was one.
Where was that located?
It was going to be under the hood. When the hood lifts up, there's like a hinge, and it would be on the driver's side closest to the window.
And when you're collecting an item of evidence, for instance, a projectile, do you then document the entire path that you have to go through to uncover and locate that projectile?
As best as I can, yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to show you, and did you do that in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us what is in 68C.
So we're looking underneath the hood.
And then 68D.
So it's a little bit difficult, but there's a bar that comes down in between, kind of in the middle of the picture from right to left. It's like a hinge. So when your hood comes up, that hinge holds everything on. and it's a little difficult, but you'll get to it in another picture or two. There is a projectile underneath that hinge area.
And so do you take close-ups so that you can then get a better look at the item?
Yes,
Is that what is being shown in 68E?
yes.
And I know it may still be difficult based on the coloring, but and the large screen behind you, could you please point it out where specifically it was located?
Sure. It's gonna be right here in the middle, the hinge that goes down, and then this is your projectile here.
And then do you actually collect it and take a photo and measurements of it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you 68F. Is that what is being shown in 68F?
Yes.
And after you photograph it, what do you do with it?
It gets placed in an envelope and it is sealed, and then eventually it gets released to our property room.
And though this is intact, does it still appear to be damaged?
Yes, ma'am.
And then did you then go into the interior of the vehicle and again locate any damage that was caused by projectiles and try to retrieve any sort of projectiles from the pathway?
That's correct.
What is in 68G?
So we're looking at the driver's side seat and the driver's side seat back from outside of the vehicle looking in.
Was there damage caused by projectiles to the driver's side seat?
There was damage, yes, ma'am.
I'll show you 68H. What is in 68H?
So that's just the back side of the same headrest that we were just looking at on the driver's side seat.
Okay, and can you see damage to that?
Yes, ma'am.
And where is that located?
We're going to be looking right here, kind of the middle to the right portion of the photograph. You can see this mark here and this mark here.
And after you noticed that damage, what did you do?
I removed the seat back, the headrest portions.
And then did you put it on brown paper and then write on it so that you could identify exactly what it is you're taking a photograph of?
Yes, the drivers and the passengers are pretty identical, so I wanted to make sure that I had specifically what was going to be what, and that way I could keep continuity.
I'm going to show you 68I. Again, is that your handwriting depicting where you removed this headrest from?
It is.
Okay. And is there, again, damage by projectiles that is in the driver's seat headrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now point to it if you look on it.
Sure.
Are these the two areas that you're looking at?
Yes, ma'am.
That way you don't have to keep getting up. What are you documenting in 68J?
So we're just documenting the same points of damage that you pointed out just previously, as well as I believe there's another small fragment closer to the L crux of the measurement there.
Okay. And are you referring to this over here?
No, actually.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay. Right about here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. 68K?
That's just going to be a more close-up photo of the previous photo. That previous photo, we kind of want to show where on the headrest it is. Now we're looking closer at each point of damage.
68L, again, still the driver, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what side of the headrest are we looking at now?
So now we're looking at the rear of the headrest.
And is over here where you're showing the projectile damage?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also do the same thing with the passenger headrest?
I did.
68M, is that what you're documenting?
Yes.
And can you tell us where the damage is? And I can point it if you can tell me if I'm correct. Is that where it is? over
Yes,
here?
ma'am. Those small points there.
What are you documenting in 68N?
Just the second angle.
68O.
So now we're getting a little bit closer up using that measure again.
P. And I'm gonna try to zoom because I know with the light it's hard to see. Oh, I wanted to go this way. And can you see it on the?
Yes,
Okay.
if you look and follow where it's the 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter, it almost meets perfectly right there. It's a small piece of debris there.
.68Q,
I believe we've moved to the backside of the headrest.
passenger side.
I'm sorry,
correct?
the backside of the passenger side headrest, yes.
So there was damage, projectile damage, both to the driver's side headrest and the passenger side
Yes, ma'am.
headrest. Then what are you documenting is 68R? Let me unzoom it for you so you can see the whole photo.
So that's actually the passenger side B pillar on the Charger. We're looking at the backside of it. So where the window comes down in the front, that's going to be your A pillar. Where your two doors meet in the middle, your passenger side front door and rear door, that's a B pillar. And then the back one is a C pillar. So when I say B pillar, I'm referring to that piece of metal that goes up and down between the front and the rear door. So in this particular case, that's what we're looking at, as well as the rear passenger side door, kind of just overall showing that there's some damage to that area.
Okay, and will you point out where the damage is?
Sure. So in this particular photo, we're going to be looking right here at this white spot, also noting that the window is shattered and damaged as well, but mainly this spot is our focus point in this photo.
68S.
So that's kind of a mid-range photo, just showing again that location of where that particular spot of damage was, as well as using a measure.
68T.
That is going to be the rear seats, looking in, I believe we're going to be looking from the driver's side through to the passenger side.
And were there damage to the rear seat as well?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you documenting in 68U?
So that we're looking again in from the driver's side towards the passenger side and showing that there's some damage along the headrest area of the rear of the back seats.
Right here.
Yes, ma'am.
68V.
So that's the center back seat.
Okay, and was there any damage that you saw here?
I do believe there's some, it's hard to see on the photo, but I think we've got some that'll come up to it.
Okay, yep, close-ups, I understand. 68W.
So this is going to be the rear passenger side, and if you look up in the top left corner of the brown fabric area of the seat, you'll see the damage there.
68X, is that a close-up of that?
Yes, ma'am.
And 68Y, another close-up.
Yes, ma'am.
.68Z. And again, I know it's hard to see because of the black and the glare, but what are you documenting there?
That's going to be another little point of damage on the passenger side.
I think it's a 68A.
That's going to be again on the passenger side headrest, or rear passenger side headrest, excuse me, showing some damage.
So behind where we were looking before.
Yes, ma'am.
68BB.
That is the seat that has been removed.
68C, double C.
That's going to be the damage to the back of the seat on the fuzzy fabric portion.
And that's what you're referring to?
Yes, probably about the 1.5 centimeter to the 1 centimeter.
68DD.
That is going to be the rear, excuse me, the rear driver's seat, as well as that middle seat. It came out as one attachment there. And again, just showing that it's been removed so that we can get those good photos of the damage.
Okay, and can you point out where the damage is on this particular exhibit, 68 double D?
We're going to be looking here up at the headrest area to the center back, and I believe there's some that's hard to tell, but it's along here.
Okay, sorry, because I know it's black and there's a glare.
And I know that it's
Here's a, let me show a close-up of the top of that anyway, 68 EE.
So that's what we did there.
And then 68 FF. What are we looking at here?
We're looking at the headrest, just that mid-range, getting a little bit closer and closer each time we take those photos of damage. And that's
Again.
gonna be, again, the driver's side.
And then 68 HH.
That is gonna be the back side of the driver's side, excuse me, the rear driver's side seat, just showing damage. It's pretty hard to see, but it's about that 2 centimeter and 2 centimeter mark where it
Here's a
meets together.
close-up, it might be a little bit
Yeah.
better. 68 II, and are you referring?
Yes.
Yep.
Right here, about the 2 and the 2.
And then did you try to pull back the material to see if you could get or locate any of the projectiles?
I did.
What's in 68 JJ?
That is gonna be a jacketing.
68 KK, that same area, is that correct?
That's correct.
And after you get the jacketing, what do you do with it?
It's placed into an envelope, again sealed, my initials, and then placed into our evidence.
And we did the passenger side, B-pillar and door, front door. Was there also damage to the driver's side door?
Yes, ma'am.
68 LL, what are we seeing in this particular photograph?
So we talked about those pillars before. This one, we're looking all the way down at the, do you mind if I get up?
No, please do.
So this is gonna be that A pillar that we talked about. We're gonna follow it all the way down to where the dash is down here, and we're looking specifically at this damage right here in the center of the photograph.
And 68 is that a close-up?
Yes. So
And-
again, that's where we followed it all the way down. We're in that mid-range, showing again kind of where we are in the vehicle.
And for these B-pillar damages, were you able to locate any projectiles or jacketing or anything like that associated with those paths?
I believe this one might have had a couple pieces of debris, but nothing large of note that I could specifically say came from a projectile. We dug it out kind of behind the dashboard.
Any broken fragments or projectiles, would you have impounded them and collected them and put them into evidence?
I would.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez,
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Sonardi,
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise,
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hey.
So we'll go back over a couple of things you testified to this afternoon. We saw at the beginning of your testimony, you collected an intact projectile from the hinge area of the car, correct?
Correct.
That projectile had not broken apart.
It was damaged, but it did not appear to be broken apart.
The
Correct.
jacketing was still present on the outside of the lead.
No, it was just the projectile.
Okay, well, right, but the projectile is basically the bullet, right?
Yes.
And the bullet, it still had the jacketing, the copper on the outside of the bullet. Did it not?
No, that one was just the projectile itself.
Okay, so you're saying it was just the lead inside?
I do believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to show you a picture of that. Show you 68F. This is the projectile you're talking about?
Yes.
This yellowish material on the outside, it's your belief that's lead?
It could be copper jacketing, it could be another color jacketing, but to my recollection, I don't recall any jacketing falling off of it or any fragments coming off of it.
Right, okay, and you bring a good point. So whatever material it may have been made of, it did not appear that anything had sheared off of it,
Correct.
correct? So whatever came out of the gun appears to still be right here in what you collected.
Potentially.
And it could have rifling on it from the barrel that it came out of, correct?
If you want to ask a ballistics or trajectory expert, that would be more of their scope.
Sure. And your job is basically to collect anything that the ballistic expert may find relevant to test.
Correct.
Counsel, can you give me the exhibit?
Oh, yes, that was 68 now. And then similarly, one of the last things I think we heard about was the piece of jacketing that you collected from within the seat. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm going to show you 68JJ. I think that's a picture of the jacketing.
That's correct.
I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit on it. This is a little closer view of that jacketing, correct?
Correct.
And even when, and just for the record, this does not appear to have originated from the same projectile as the one you collected in the door hinge, right?
I can't say where they came from. All of those spots of yellow in those original first photographs were points of damage. So I can't tell you what struck where. I did not string it. I did not put rods through it. That was not part of our plan for the day.
Sure, fair enough. This jacket, though, piece of jacketing was collected in a very different portion of the car than the projectile we saw just a moment ago.
Yes.
Right? And jacketing, even when it splits off from a projectile, can still have relevance to a firearm examiner sometimes because you may still have rifling even on the jacketing that splits off, right?
That is a fair statement, yes. But again, if you wanted to talk to a firearms expert, I'm sure that they could give you a little bit more of a definition than I could.
Sure, absolutely. You're familiar with what rifling is, though, right?
I have my education and experience, yes.
Right. And it can be striations that are left on a projectile that leaves a firearm.
Correct.
And we see striations on this jacketing that you collected from the seat, correct?
I don't know that I would call those striations again because that's going to be out of the scope of my career.
Understood. You collect it, firearms examiner tests it, determines what may be relevant.
Correct.
Correct. Thank you. That's all.
You're welcome.
No redirect. It is what it needs to be. It is what it needs to be.
Yes, Your Honor. I
Okay,
apologize.
thank you. Free to go.